Stop. Before you leave the house with that hairstyle, you need to see this. I just watched a 67-year-old woman take 10 years off her appearance by changing one thing about her long hair, and what her stylist revealed about hairstyle number 3 actually shocked me. If you're over 60 with long hair, you're probably being told to cut it all off, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that's complete nonsense. Long hair can be absolutely stunning at any age, but, and this is crucial, there are 7 specific hairstyles that are secretly aging you and making you look tired, dated, and older than you actually are. I'm Sarah. I've been a hairstylist for 25 years specializing in mature hair, and last week something happened that I need to share with you. A client came in wearing hairstyle number 5. It's so common you've probably seen it everywhere, and when I showed her what it was doing to her face in the mirror, she couldn't believe it. We made one simple adjustment, and I kid you not, 3 people at the grocery store asked if she'd lost weight. She hadn't. It was all the hair. Now, here's what most women don't know. Hairstyle number 7 seems elegant and classic, but there's a sneaky reason it's been sabotaging your entire look, and I'm revealing that secret at the very end of this video. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay with me because each of these 7 hairstyles gets worse as we go, and the alternatives I'm showing you are absolute game changers. The center part straight down. You know what I see everywhere? Women parting their hair straight down the middle and letting it hang flat on both sides. I get it, it feels natural, it's easy, and maybe you've worn it this way for years. But here's what's happening that you can't see from your angle in the mirror. That severe center part is creating a curtain effect that's actually dragging your facial features downward. At our age, gravity is already doing enough work on its own, and this hairstyle is basically giving gravity a helping hand. The center part also emphasizes any asymmetry in your face, and we all have it. That's completely normal, but why highlight it? Plus, when your hair hangs straight and flat, it draws attention to thinning at the crown, which is something most of us experience after 60. The solution? A deep side part. It creates instant volume at the roots, lifts your features, and adds that modern, face-framing softness that takes years off immediately. I've seen women make just this one switch and look like they've had a facelift. The super sleek low ponytail. Now, let's talk about the slicked back low ponytail. I know. It seems sophisticated and polished, doesn't it? Very Grace Kelly, very elegant. But what worked in our 20s doesn't work the same way now. And here's why. When you pull all your hair tightly back from your face, you're removing every bit of softness and volume around your hairline. This creates harsh shadows under your eyes and emphasizes every line on your forehead. Remember that client I mentioned earlier? This was her go-to style. She thought she looked put together, but what was actually happening is the tight pull was making her face look longer and more severe. The moment we loosened it and pulled out a few soft pieces around her face, everything changed. Her eyes looked bigger, her cheekbones looked higher, and suddenly she looked approachable and youthful instead of stern. If you love your ponytails, and honestly, who doesn't for convenience, try positioning it higher, leaving it a little loose and textured, and always pull out some face-framing wisps. The blunt one-length cut. Here's where things get controversial, but stay with me. That perfectly blunt, one-length cut that hits right at your shoulders or mid-back. It's aging you. I can almost hear some of you disagreeing right now, but let me explain the science behind this. When hair is all one heavy length, especially as it gets thinner with age, it creates a bottom-heavy triangle shape that weighs everything down. What you want instead is movement and layers that create the illusion of thickness and volume. A blunt cut also tends to flip out or under in ways that feel dated, like we're stuck in a different decade. The fix here isn't dramatic. You don't need to lose your length. You just need some long layers, some texturizing, maybe some subtle graduation that removes weight and adds life. I've had women tell me they finally understand what effortless hair means after making this one change. The tight spiral curls all over. If you're using a small barrel curling iron or hot rollers to create those tight, uniform curls all over your head, we need to talk. Those corkscrew curls might feel fancy, might remind you of special occasions from years ago, but they're actually reading as trying too hard, and worse, they're making your hair look smaller and more processed. Tight curls also tend to add width at the sides of your face, which shortens your face shape and can make you look wider overall. What's beautiful right now, and what's actually more youthful, are loose, relaxed waves. Think beachy, think soft, think movement rather than structure. When I transition clients from tight curls to loose waves, they tell me they feel more modern, more relaxed, and honestly, more like themselves. The bonus? Loose waves are easier to maintain and much gentler on aging hair. The severe pulled back bun. This is hairstyle number 5, the one I mentioned that made such a difference for my client at the grocery store. The ballet bun, the tight top knot, the severely scraped back chignon. These styles have their place, absolutely, but worn regularly, they're doing you no favors. Every single thing I said about the low ponytail applies here, but even more so. A tight bun pulls on your hairline, which can actually contribute to hair loss over time, something called traction alopecia, and it removes all softness from your face. You end up looking harsh, tired, and frankly, like you're trying to hide your hair rather than style it. Now here's what shocked my client. We took that same bun concept but made it low, loose, and messy. We left pieces out, we didn't pull it tight, and we positioned it at the nape of her neck instead of on top of her head. The difference was astounding. She looked romantic, current, and effortlessly chic. The overly teased crown. I've saved this one because it's tricky. We all need volume, especially at the crown where thinning tends to happen first. So teasing seems like the obvious solution, right? But here's the problem. When you tease your hair too much, you create that wiglet effect where it looks poofy and separate from the rest of your hair. It reads as artificial and sometimes even a little desperate. Heavy teasing also damages your hair over time, causing breakage exactly where you can least afford it. What works better is strategic root lifting with the right products, a volumizing mousse or a root lifting spray, and then using your blow dryer with a round brush to create natural lift. You can also try subtle hair toppers or extensions if thinning is significant, but the goal is always natural-looking volume, not a bump that looks like it's sitting on top of your head like a hat. The pin straight, iron look. And now we've arrived at number 7, the one with that sneaky secret I promised to reveal. The completely flat-ironed, pin-straight, shiny hair that looks like glass. You might think this looks sleek and modern, especially when you see younger women wearing it. But here's what's happening. Stick-straight hair emphasizes every single imperfection in your hair's texture and shows every bit of thinning. It also lies completely flat against your head, removing all dimension and shadow that creates the illusion of fullness. But here's the sneaky part one mentioned. When your hair is this flat and reflective, it actually catches light in a way that highlights your scalp. You might not notice it yourself, but in certain lighting, people can see right through to your scalp, making your hair look thinner than it actually is. The solution is texture, always texture. A little wave, a little bend, some movement that catches light differently and creates depth. That's the secret to hair that looks thick, healthy, and yes, younger. Now, I want to take a moment here because we've just gone through 7 hairstyles, and if you're watching this thinking, oh no, I've been doing half of these, please don't feel bad. That's not what this is about at all. This is about knowledge, about understanding how to work with your hair as it changes, and about making choices that highlight your best features instead of hiding them. The truth is, getting older is a privilege that not everyone gets, and your long hair is part of your identity, part of what makes you feel like yourself. I would never tell someone to cut their hair just because of a birthday. Never. What I'm passionate about is helping women style their long hair in ways that are current, flattering, and authentic. Because here's what I've learned after 25 years behind the chair. Confidence is the most attractive thing you can wear, and confidence comes from knowing you look your absolute best. When you understand why certain styles aren't working for you anymore, you're empowered to make different choices. You're not following rules blindly. You're not listening to people who tell you what you should do at your age. You're making informed decisions that honor both your personal style and the reality of how your hair has changed. And that's incredibly powerful. I've watched women transform, not just their appearance, but their entire energy when they find the right hairstyle. They walk taller, they smile more, they engage with the world differently. And it's not vanity. It's about feeling like the outside matches the inside. You're vibrant, you're engaged, you're living your life fully, and your hair should reflect that, not contradict it. Think about all the things you've learned over the years, all the wisdom you've gained, all the experiences that have shaped you. Your hair should be part of that story, but it should be telling the current chapter, not one from 20 years ago. The women I admire most are the ones who've figured out how to evolve their style as they've evolved as people. They're not stuck in the past, but they're also not trying to look like their granddaughters. They've found that sweet spot where classic meets contemporary, where age-appropriate doesn't mean frumpy, and where their hair is an asset, not something they're constantly worried about. One more thing I want you to know. Your hair texture has changed, and that's okay. It might be finer now, it might have less pigment, it might not hold styles the way it used to. But that doesn't mean it can't be beautiful. It just means you need to work with it differently. The right cut, the right products, the right styling techniques. These things matter more now than they ever did before. And honestly, when you get it right, your hair can look better now than it did 20 years ago. I've seen it happen countless times. I think about my own mother, who's 73 and has the most gorgeous silver hair down to her shoulder blades. For years, she wore it the same way she'd worn it in her 40s, and she couldn't understand why it didn't look right anymore. When she finally let me update her style, just layers, just a better part, just some modern styling techniques, she cried when she saw herself. She said she finally looked like how she felt inside. That's what this is really about. You deserve to feel beautiful. You deserve to look in the mirror and smile. You deserve to walk past a window and catch your reflection and think, yes, that's me and I look good. And the beautiful thing about hair is that it's one of the easiest things to change. You don't need surgery, you don't need to lose weight, you don't need expensive treatments. You just need the right information and maybe a really good hairstylist who understands mature hair. If you've watched this far, you're clearly someone who cares about looking her best, who's willing to learn and adapt, and who values herself enough to invest time in understanding what works for her. That's admirable. That's the kind of energy that keeps you young, not a specific hairstyle or hair color. It's that willingness to grow, to change, to try new things. So, here's my challenge for you. Pick one thing from this video and try it this week. Maybe it's changing your part, maybe it's loosening your ponytail, maybe it's booking an appointment for some long layers. Just one thing. See how it feels, see how people respond to you, see if you notice a difference in your confidence. I think you will. And remember, those 7 hairstyles we talked about, they're not bad hairstyles. They're just not working for you anymore at this stage of your life. There's no judgment in that, no shame, nothing to feel embarrassed about. It's just information you can use to make better choices moving forward. Think of it like learning that a certain color doesn't suit your skin tone anymore, or that a style of clothing doesn't flatter your shape. It's not personal, it's just practical. Your long hair is beautiful. You are beautiful. Now you just have the knowledge to make sure everyone else can see what you already know about yourself. You've got this, and I'm cheering you on every step of the way. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel because I post tips like these every single week specifically for women over 60 who want to look and feel their absolute best. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 7 hairstyles surprised you most. I read every single comment and I love hearing from you. And if you have a friend who's still wearing any of these styles, share this video with her because that's what good friends do. We lift each other up, we share what we know, and we help each other look fabulous. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.